than 21% of the world is in the ocean. It is a beautifully spacious area. There is a mystery. There is an astonishment. It is a popular destination for tourists, including the tourism industry of the country, where the sea is the resource. Moreover, they have the fishing industry and the petrochemical industry, which is important. That's just a beautiful appearance. We have a hidden treasures of her under those waters.
We have made this video to make everyone aware of the importance of the ocean and the urgency of resolving this problem and promoting the conservation of marine resources.
On July 25th, a Japanese ship named MV Wakashio struck a coral reef on southeast coast of Mauritius. The vessel carrying 4,000 tons of crude oil started leaking into the Indian Ocean. More than 1,000 tons of oil leaked from the cracked vessel, polluting the coral reefs, beaches and lagoons of the island nation. Prime Minister of Mauritius Pravin Jugnauth declared the spill an environmental emergency on August 7th. The government also sought international help to contain the damage. France has sent a naval vessel, military aircraft and technical experts, while Japan has sent a 6-member team to assess damage control. Locals are also actively involved in the cleanup efforts. Now experts fear that eventually the vessel could break into two, spilling rest of the oil and thereby amplifying the disaster. Environmentalists are concerned about the impact of the oil spill on the ecosystem. Mauritius' economy depends mainly on its tourism sector. Therefore, damage caused to its fragile ecosystem will impact on the country's economy.
Japan says it will start releasing more than 1 million tons of treated radioactive water from the wrecked Fukushima nuclear plants beginning this Thursday. It puts a plan into motion approved by the government 2 years ago, but which has drawn strong criticism from China and from the local fishing industry. Tokyo says it's a crucial step in decommissioning the disabled plants run by the Tokyo Electric Power Company, or TEPCO. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida.
TEPCO is asked to swiftly prepare to start the water discharge in accordance with the plan approved by the Nuclear Regulation Authority. As for the specific release date, it is expected to be August 24th, weather and sea conditions permitting.
The treated water was used to cool the plant's few rods after they were hit by a huge tsunami in 2011. Japan has maintained that the water release is safe. That claim was backed by the UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, which greenlighted the plan in July. The IAEA said the plan met international standards and the impact it would have on people and the environment was negligible. However, local fishing groups and seafood retailers have opposed the release, saying it could cause reputational damage. Takashi Nakajima runs a supermarket in the Fukushima area. After watching customers slowly begin to eat local seafood again, he fears it will scare them away.
They say it'll be safe when it's diluted, but they haven't conducted any scientific research regarding what would happen as a result of discharging this much of the water over 30 years. I think it's unscientific at best to release it here, and it's sure to hurt sales of fish. That's why I'm strongly against it. I don't want them to do it.
Kishida claimed on Monday that the government had achieved a degree of understanding from the fishing industry. While Kishida said he believed what he called an accurate understanding of the release was spreading around the globe, China has remained a stalwart critic of the plan. In July, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin called Japan selfish and arrogant, adding it had not fully consulted the international community about the release. China bans seafood imports from 10 prefectures in Japan, including Fukushima and the capital, Tokyo. Imports from other prefectures, meanwhile, are tightly controlled and checked.
The world have the problem with plastic. Here in Norway, we think we have the solution.
Most places, an empty bottle like this would just be thrown in the bin or maybe even chucked on the street, but not here in Norway. I've come back inside the shop and this machine is going to reward me for bringing my bottle back.
When we buy a bottle of soda or something, we pay 1 kroner extra, and when we put it in the machine, we get that money back again.
And it's really easy because you recycle and it's good for the environment.
A bottle can be recycled more than one time. It can actually be recycled 12 times. We separate the clear bottle from the colored bottle. The clear can be used in new bottles, the color bottle can be used in new plastic material. If soft drink producer join our system, they pay less taxes. Everyone wins.
Waste is a problem caused by human daily routine that is inherited from generation to generation, resulting in both direct and indirect problems. The victim of this problem will not be anyone, except for the marine life. Sea waste has killed hundreds of living things every day and every year. More than 100 million aquatic animals must ensure live with the plastic waste, garbage, that is not properly disposed of is sea waste, thus remain is mineral. Before this waste flow into the sea, more than 80% of marine waste come from the human activity, and you know.
Ocean Cleanup has reached a critical milestone in the development of their ocean cleaning technology, and recently announced that the nonprofit had reached proof of technology with the Ocean Cleanup System 2 during a recent press event held in Victoria, Canada. The Ocean Cleanup showed off their latest catch of over 9,000 kilograms of plastic waste collected in a single haul, dumping it out in dramatic fashion for all the world to see. CEO Boyan Slat took to the stage in Victoria Harbour, joined by members of the Ocean Cleanup team, to announce that the cleanup would begin the very next day as they begin to deploy teams and ocean cleanup systems to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is located hundreds of miles offshore in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, this is a day we've all been looking forward to for all these years, that I've personally been looking forward to for the past 10 years. We've completed the testing, working system, proven technology, and that we're now going out tomorrow to actually go and harvest trash.
System 2, called Jenny, named after the famous character in the film Forrest Gump, differs from its predecessor System 1, aka Wilson, also named after a character from a different Tom Hanks movie. In that it's being towed at a very slow speed, about 1.5 knots, by two large vessels through the ocean, catching floating ocean plastic along the way. The barrier extends about 3 meters below the surface and is completely open in the center, allowing for fish to escape by simply swimming down below the barrier. As water flows through the system, the plastic gets pushed to the center, which acts like a collection area, which the Ocean Cleanup calls the retention zone. After a period of time, the vessels connect both ends of the giant loop to one ship, while the other Ocean Cleanup vessel maneuvers to the retention zone and pulls in the net, collecting and later sorting the plastic pollution before bringing it back to shore to be processed into pelletized plastic for manufacturing recycled goods. In October of 2020, the Ocean Cleanup unveiled their high-end sunglasses. Designed in California by Yves Behar and crafted in Italy by one of the leading Italian eyewear manufacturing companies, Safilo. The sunglasses frames are made out of reclaimed pelletized ocean plastic, which was collected by System 1/B as a means to raise money for future cleanups and to prove to the world that you can make something new out of the tons of plastic pollution the nonprofit plans to pull out of the Pacific.
So this whole idea of making this cleanup circular and turning the catch into something usable and using that to actually continue the funding of the continued cleanup. That has really been the vision since the very first day. As we were developing the cleanup technology, we have also been having a team here working really around the clock to work on ways to turn this material into actually something great, something that people want to have and that is actually able to then fund the cleanup.
Each pair of sunglasses has a QR code which you can scan to see exactly where in the ocean your sunglasses came from, along with videos and ocean cleanup data. Boyan made clear in a series of recent tweets that the ocean cleanup has no plans to get into the manufacturing of products business with plastic collected from System 2, and that the sunglasses were simply meant to be a proof of concept, showing that companies can, and I quote, turn our trash into something truly valuable, end quote. Talk about closing the loop. They are literally closing the loop. Boyan original idea for System 1 was an autonomous cleaning system that used the ocean's currents and winds to propel it through the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. An autonomous system would save money on staffing a crew, fuel costs, and be able to work day and night 24/7. This concept proved to be ineffective during early testing. System 1 was successful in catching plastic, but the plastic would easily escape because the smaller floating plastic pieces would sometimes travel faster than System 1 and would simply float away from the structure. But Boyan's plans for an autonomous cleaning system are not dead yet. System 2 is now crewed with multiple ships and crew members who all have a specific role in collecting, sorting, and recycling the plastic waste. Boyan has big plans for the Pacific Garbage Patch and has said that he has plans to deploy multiple units to the patch simultaneously while beginning development of System 3 as soon as possible.
Ultimately, if we just collect this amount of plastic 3,000 times, the garbage patch will be gone and will just exist in the history books. We can do this if we just make the system a bit bigger and we have 10 of them out there. We can clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. System 3 will be 3 times larger than System 2, spanning 2.5 kilometers or 1.5 miles across, increasing its ability to collect more plastic. The ocean cleanup has also promised to continue their environmental monitoring and data collection programs, with the sensors and wildlife monitoring devices mounted to the cleanup systems. And they have pledged to go carbon neutral by offsetting their fuel consumption and are experimenting with low carbon emission fuels for the fleet of support vessels. With the success of System 2, System 3 will become the blueprint for producing a fleet of ocean cleaning systems in the future. Currently, the goal is to deploy 10 ocean cleanup systems every 5 years in hopes of greatly reducing the amount of plastic floating in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is, let's not forget, the size of Texas, which is a massive state. I should know, I was born in Houston, Texas. I've driven across Texas a few times by car, and it is a massive area to cover. The ocean cleanup systems are not the only tools in the tool shed for the ocean cleanup team. The ocean cleanup has been hard at work deploying updated river interceptors all over the world in an attempt to stop the flow of plastic pollution in the mouths of rivers.
So, where is all this plastic coming from? Well, the answer, it turns out, is rivers. Rivers are like the arteries that carry the trash from land to sea. When it rains, plastic washes from street to creek to river to ocean.
Boyan acknowledges that stopping plastic pollution at the source is paramount in curbing the amount of plastic pollution that enters the oceans every year. It will take education and major changes in single-use plastic products and packaging, and a major shift in our behavior and recycling practices to completely rid the world of this plastic pollution crisis.
It's really hard to imagine that all that stuff just used to float out there in the middle of the ocean, 2,000 kilometers offshore. It still would have floated out there, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, probably even 100 years from now. This stuff is so persistent, and that's of course precisely the reason why we have to go and clean it up.
So if you like this video, subscribe to CNET's YouTube channel and ring that bell for more videos like this one. And make sure to check out the description for more information on the ocean cleanup and past coverage that we've done. And as always, thanks for watching.
Everyone is familiar with the law of the land, which in general terms is a country's local law where a person resides. Almost all the rules, regulations, and legal disputes are handled under the law of the land. When someone visits another country, he or she needs to follow the local laws of the state. Now many of us will wonder which country's law a commercial ship operating in high seas should follow. Is it the local law of the country which is closest to the vessel when at sea? Should the ship follow the legal framework of the flag state the vessel is assigned to? Or there exists another legal framework for such vessels and rigs which operates away from the land? Let us answer all these questions in this video. A commercial ship, fishing boat, or oil rigs operating at high seas follow the law of the seas in the international waters known as UNCLOS. UNCLOS is an acronym for the United Nations Convention for the Law of the Sea. The convention is also sometimes referred to as the Law of the Sea Convention or the Law of the Sea Treaty. The Law of the Sea came into operation and became effective from 16th November 1982. However, the first time such a proposal was announced before the United Nations was in the year 1973. Over the course of 9 years, with representatives from over 160 countries coming forward, UNCLOS came into existence. The convention contains 320 articles and 9 annexes, which governs all aspects of ocean space, such as delimitation, environmental control, marine scientific research, economic and commercial activities, transfer of technology, and the settlement of disputes relating to ocean matters. The UNCLOS Convention has created 3 new institutions on the international level to ensure smooth commercial, research, and fishing operation without any major disputes. These institutions are the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. The tribunal has jurisdiction over any dispute concerning the interpretation or application of the convention and over all matters specifically provided for in any other agreement which confers jurisdiction on the tribunal. The International Seabed Authority. This organization provides the details of the limits of national jurisdiction established in Part 11 for the agreement, organize and control activities in the area, mainly to administer the resources in the seabed and ocean floor and subsoil thereof. The Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf. All the state parties need to submit a continental shelf report to this commission showing the continental shelf area has the coast of their country. This commission will handle any dispute in this region. Hence, an X country cannot dump its e-waste or carry out any oil or mineral extraction operation in the area assigned to a Y country under the UNCLOS. Let's take an example to understand it better. If this is a land or a coast of an X country, the coast will have a baseline running throughout the shore which is mean below water. All the waters behind the baseline are known as internal waters which are exclusively under the state. No foreign vessels of any type are allowed in this region. Then comes the territorial water, which is 12 nautical miles from the coast. In this region, the coastal state has the right to do resource exploitation, right to fish, etc. No foreign ships are allowed in this region unless they come under the right to innocent passage, which basically means they are not here for the exploitation of the resources, transiting arms or weapons, spying, etc. The next is the contiguous zone, which extends from the territorial waterline, that is from 12 nautical miles to 24 nautical miles. In this region, the foreign ships can pass, ensuring they comply with the right to innocent passage. The coastal state has the power to prevent infringement of its customs, fiscal, immigration or sanitary laws and regulations within the contiguous zone. The coastal state can arrest the ship and punish infringement of the above laws and regulations committed within its territory. Now, the most important zone which is widely used by foreign ships is the Exclusive Economic Zone or EEZ, which also contributes to the economy of the coastal state. Here, the foreign ships are allowed to sail if they are extending to do trade, to lay cables or pipelines, etc., ensuring they are not harming the sea state. The EEZ boundaries extend from 0 to 200 nautical miles from the coastal state baseline. Within its EEZ, a coastal state has sovereign rights for the purpose of exploring, exploiting, conserving and managing natural resources, whether living or non-living, of the seabed and subsoil, and the superjacent waters for the economic exploitation, such as the production of energy from the water, currents and wind. From baseline to 350 nautical miles, the continental shelf outer boundary is marked. Hence, the continental shelf is basically between the 200 nautical miles to 350 nautical miles. The law of the sea states that any resources which are attached to the ocean bed will remain the right to resource for the coastal waters. However, resources which are not connected to the seabed in the continental shelf comes under international waters. Post all this, come to the high seas, which refer to all parts of the sea not included in the exclusive economic zone, territorial sea or in the internal waters of a state. Here are some interesting figures about the areas covered under various zones. If you have any questions or suggestions, please drop your comments below and we'll get back to you at the earliest. If you like this video, please subscribe to the Marine Insight channel and press the bell icon to get notified when we post such amazing videos. Please like, comment and share this video and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
What we can do this is join campaign to reduce and stop lifestyle that cause water pollution. Because the endpoint of garbage in your hand is the sea. So let's help take care of this world together.
All garbage will move through the wind and the water in the North Pacific Ocean and take a many paths from the land into the large lake in the ocean.